All right. We are kicking off here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Overcrank Podcast, the Anti-Review Rendezvous. It is a great privilege to come to you here today on a very, very special occasion. I'm joined by my good friend here, Conor Heffernan. All right, and as always, I am John EJ McCarthy, and we are going to be taking you through the presidential debate, Harris versus Trump. Oh man, what a titanic grudge match that was shaping up to be beforehand.
Oh yeah, this has been a very dramatic election.
Oh my gosh, I got to say we are both very excited to kind of get into the meat and potatoes. This both literally and figuratively. So Conor, as a current and former potato eater yourself, could you give us a bit of a quick rundown on maybe like some of the things that we might look to tackle and tango with here during the course of our discussion today?
We got quite a show this evening, EJ. Quite an extraordinary show for our little anti-review rendezvous podcast. We've got various things of like how would we conduct the debate, and I think it's safe to say you and I are not the most serious of characters.
Fuck you, and fuck your opinions.
We're going to talk about which candidate we would like for president and which guy we liked the most, and I think the answer may surprise a few people. It was not Harris or Trump, funny enough. I think we've got a description of a brand new superhero team up that was inspired by this debate. So the film studios might want to be listening to this one, and much more.
Oh yeah, I love it. Can't wait to get started with you, brother. Okie doke. So let's go ahead and just speak. We're going to speak briefly to like some of the different debate topics that were sort of brought up here. So I'm going to kind of jump into maybe the middle of what we had initially planned here, just as a better segue for our listenership or viewership out there. So during the course of this debate, they talked about economic plans, abortion, border security, energy, Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine, Afghan withdrawal, healthcare, climate change. There was a big, broad smattering of topic spaces covered and questions asked. Now,
smorgasbord, one might say.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good word. I like that one.
Yeah, it's very, very sophisticated. And given this is a sophisticated setting with a sophisticated viewership, run by sophisticated hosts, we just strive for the best, and that's what we're giving you here today, folks.
Yeah, definitely, exactly.
Definitely not lowbrow hooker jokes or anything like that. We wouldn't do that.
No, never. That's just for us, EJ.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Conor. I'm with you. Okay, so that kind of brings us to kind of our first thing that we wanted to kind of bandy about, which was if we, by hook or by crook, ended up moderating a presidential debate, what is one question we would like to ask the candidate?
So EJ, I got a little bit of a riff on this one, if that's okay.
Sure, go for it, buddy.
So when I was in college, we had this drinking game called what was it called? I think we called it Kings. I'm sure you have it in America as well, but probably a different name.
Nope, we also call it Kings or Waterfall or something along those lines there. But
I didn't think you had Kings in America, but that's so much I know about history. But anyway, that was a terrible joke. But anyway, there was one of the cards. If you got it, you were able to set a rule, and there was one rule in particular I will never forget, and this always came up in every Irish game of Kings that was ever played. It's called the Little Green Man. I don't know if you've ever.
Oh, I love the Little Green Man.
Oh, the Little Green Man. So I think I would make that a rule for this debate, where if you don't take your little green man off the podium as you're speaking, you have to do a shot.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Could you imagine? And Trump doesn't even drink, so he would be the biggest lightweight ever.
I mean, by like 10 minutes in, they're both like slurring their words.
There'd be a fist fight, EJ. There would be a fist fight. But I feel you would also have to apply that rule to the moderators as well. So you'd have David Muir and what's her name? They'd just be doing shots.
Oh yeah, what's her name? Oh yeah, she was a real champion throughout. She really contributed quite a bit by chiming in by saying like, "Thanks, David," and yes, I completely agree.
Someone had to say thanks, David. It wasn't going to be Trump.
That is such a good answer right there.
Mhm.
Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna just struggle to kind of match that energy. But let's go ahead and give it the old college try here.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna go just very basic kind of slapstick humor here. All right.
Nice.
Um, and what we're gonna do is we're going to take some electrical wiring, okay, and we're gonna wire up the genital areas of both candidates, and um, every time the candidate goes off topic, okay, so I'm not really focusing on what I would ask, okay, or what
Mhm.
rule I would, or rather, this is more like what rule I would apply to the debate. So I guess we can kind of get into like actual questions we would ask subsequently here. But for rule I would apply, I'd apply those electrodes to the genital areas, and anytime they went off topic, they get fucking zapped. All right, so
EJ, can I ask? I assume that the more they do it, the higher the voltage goes.
oh yeah. It's just kind of a little pinch in the beginning, okay? Then
Yeah.
by the end, you're like Marv from the movie Home Alone when he like kind of hooks himself up to the electrodes. You just start going like with the flash and the skeleton and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say Trump got cooked. I mean, that would be some prime sausage cooked right there on, on a fucking
oh
spit.
yeah, lot of fucking marbling around that piece of
I get the
piece of
feeling Melania's probably looked into that for him as well.
yeah, it was yeah
It's like,
the
Melania, what have you got me for my birthday? Oh, husband, I got you this really sexy sex toy. It's like, yeah, it's a bit of a shock. It's like, no, it's sexy. You are a man. Okay. Joe Biden doesn't have one, does he?
It's a pretty good impression right there, buddy.
I'm not bad at Trump. I'm not bad at Trump. He's, do you know, funny? Trump's an impression who I found I really struggled to do until I heard someone doing an impression of him, and then I was like, oh, okay.
I get it. It just
Yeah,
it kind of clicks, baby. It kind of clicks.
yeah. Some people I can do straight away. Trump is like one I had to hear from someone else. So yeah, but
Okay.
I've kind of developed it my own a bit. So okay, I think these are solid rules, EJ.
Yep. So on that same sort of vein of moderating the debate, what's one question that you would ask of each candidate or of the candidates?
Okay, so to keep this in the spirit of an anti-review, because I feel this debate was both comical and also serious, because one of these people is going to have nukes before long.
And just a little bit sad too.
Just a little bit sad. So how about we go one funny question, one serious question? That work for you?
Sure.
Okay, if I could I was trying to think of a serious question, and even though this is kind of serious, it'll just come off as a joke, but I'm going to say it anyway. If I was honestly up there and I was the moderator and I was just, like, I'm not American, I'd just be looking around at all this chaos going on. I think I would just say, former President Trump, Vice President Harris, come on.
Yeah.
Like, just come on. You know what? I think that would serve as I would use that as my serious question. It's just like, what the fuck? As for my comedy question, or a non-serious question, I think, you can almost flip it, because I think you could ask both of them a very normal question and they would both just answer it kind of weirdly. So, something like, I don't know, what was your first pet, or something like that? Because I feel neither of them would have a normal answer.
I take that. Right there.
Yeah.
So actually, why don't I take your answer right there? Okay, and I'm gonna kind of just sort of throw in a little wrinkle to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you kill your first pet? Okay, it just see how they react to that one right there. Like,
EJ, I personally have had I mean, I've never killed my pets, but I had a few hamsters that died under very bizarre circumstances.
okay, so and why did you feed it bleach, Donald Trump?
I think that's, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel Trump would just forget to feed his pet.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Well, I mean, in fairness though, he does have that hamster that kind of lives in his little toupee. So you can kind of tell it's it's got varying degrees of like hunger throughout the course of the day, because the toupee gets more or less disheveled.
Well, I feel, he'd be trying to get I don't know, imagine Trump had a cat. He'd be like, he'd be like shaking the bag of food for the cat to come for its dinner, and it's like, the cat would be coming along very hungry, and he'd be like,
"Come here, Mittens. Come here."
I have chicken, I have liver, I've got the best chicken, the best liver, meow mix, can't deliver like I can, okay? So I think, but then the cat would just be nudging his empty bowl towards him, but then he'd be like, I've done so much for cats, it's unbelievable how much I've done for cats, okay? And the cat would just die of hunger, I think.
Or like go South Park style with Parasol, just fucking kill itself.
Yeah. And for Kamala, I feel she probably never had a pet, but she wouldn't say that because all of her advisors said, look, this is on a knife edge. You need to be as normal as possible. So I think she'd panic and just make up a really weird pet.
A snapperdoodle, like
like I had a malformed crocodile when I was a little girl, and he protected me from all the racist Joe Bidens who wanted me on a bus.
Yeah, Kamala strikes me as the sort of person who would have like a potentially like very out there sort of pet, like like a fucking ferret or like a mole or something like that.
Yeah, like a praying mantis maybe.
Oh yeah, one of those sad bug people.
Yeah. Oh, she definitely had insects. Yeah.
I mean, and to all the sad bug people out there watching this video, please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Listen, it's what the bugs would want.
All right. Now, I've also got a serious question for them as well. All right. Yep. Now, I'm sure every single effing person out there who's like sat down for a real job interview has had a question like this. Okay. One of these like little psychometric tests to be like, oh, how does this fella think? And my question would be, you've got yourself a Boeing 747 and you've got yourself an unlimited number of tennis balls. How many tennis balls does it take to fill up the Boeing 747? Explain your answer.
I really like that. Like if I don't know if like Google recruiters submitted questions for the debate, I would love to see a debate where like Joe Biden and Kamala have to do these sort of outside the box kind of questions. Like one of them, for example, I remember I looked it up before. There was one question from a Google interview, which was like, if you were a pea that was put in a blender, how would you save yourself? Like asking one of those just really weird questions.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if you had the children's cartoon series VeggieTales in your neck of the woods, kind of growing up, but basically it was about these like little anthropomorphic vegetables that went on like adventures and got up to hijinks, and it just kind of actually. It's kind of like the movie Sausage Party, if you've ever seen that one. By the way, we got to add that to our repertoire of stuff to review at some point in time. But a different mission for a different day right there, where it just turns like very dark and scary, where like, oh my God, like the fucking pea and like all his fucking family and friends get blended up. Like it's just a giant fucking vegetable holocaust. And like, oh my God, there's so much friggin' amylopectin all over the place. So much chlorophyll.
Yeah. No, not broccoli.
R.I.P. dude.
R.I.P. dude.
Yeah, get it? R.I.P.
Yeah, I got it. That's good, EJ. That's good.
Yeah, nice little, was it? We're here for a good time, not a long time, Connor. So might as well make it count. Okay, so we've got kind of the if we were moderators sort of concept sort of fit on right there. What topic space do you want to shift to next, Connor? Anything in particular that's kind of shouting to you as sort of the next topic, or do we just want to kind of pick something from the list?
I think let's have a little chat because we had a slight disagreement about what like the best lines from this debate were. I think let's go right for the red meat.
Oh yeah, that's juicy right there. Okay, cool. Do you mind if I go first?
Oh, please.
All right. Now I feel like this is going to be one of the more like sort of aggressively quoted lines from the debate, but when Trump gets up there talking about God knows fucking what, and goes into she, being Kamala Harris, wants to start doing transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. And it's just like, what the fuck did I just hear? Holy fucking shit. So first off, okay, let's break this down just from, because we both, respect a logical approach to things. So let's break this down into its component parts, okay, and explore this logically. Okay, so she, Harris, okay, so implying that she's going to be doing the thing, wants to start doing transgender operations. Okay, so this implies that she has extensive medical training, in particular in gender reassignment surgery, which I got to say that is a very niche specialty. I don't know where you kind of go to like do a fellowship. I imagine it's not kind of a standard residency thing. That's like
you got to go very Eastern Europe for that kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, that sounds very kind of niche right there. Which I mean, in fairness, she does have a very diverse kind of graphic background, so maybe there is something going on there. But anyways, so there's the assumption that she has extensive medical training on illegal aliens. Okay, so this is
only illegal aliens.
Yeah, so this is problematic because I believe it would violate the Geneva Convention or the Nuremberg Treaty, or the things that kind of came out of the Nuremberg trials. I forget the exact sort of turns of phrase there. Something related to the Hippocratic Oath, I'm sure. So, but yeah, illegal aliens. So taking advantage of a by nature sort of disenfranchised community, if you will. So illegal aliens, and we're not really sure if they're talking about like actual people or if we're talking about like space aliens here. So
I think even as Trump, it could have very well been aliens.
Like aliens, like little green men aliens.
Oh yeah. Like okay. Which aliens do you think, EJ? if you could pick an alien from a classic movie who came down to Earth and then was greeted by Kamala Harris with a scamper like, "I'm going to turn you into a woman," which alien could you see that happening to?
The xenomorph from the fucking Aliens franchise. Like, oh my god, please, Jesus Christ! Like, let fucking. Actually, that is just a theme for a friggin' movie right there. Let's put a bunch of politicians like in a big old government building and let just one fucking xenomorph from the Aliens franchise loose. Okay, just see what sort of chaos ensues. Oh
but
man,
if the xenomorph gets cornered by 3 or more Democrats, then that xenomorph is becoming a woman.
Now, yes, I guess so. Was it because they do have Queen? They do have kind of a hive mindset in the Aliens metaverse right there. So it is an alien queen that exists. I don't know if there's an alien king that's sort of spoken to in sort of the larger video game ethos or mythos, but yes, definitely an alien queen. So yes, to kind of go back to our tried and true Kathleen Kennedy trope, put a chick in it and make her gay. So that's that's.
I mean, I have to say, I remember waking up this morning on Twitter and all of the there were a bunch of pictures people had posted. This is before I saw anything about the debate, and it was just pictures of the xenomorph, but in like a mini skirt and high heels with like a handbag. And I was like, what the fuck happened in this debate?
Yeah, holy shit! What century did I fucking wake up in? Okay, I'm sorry. We had a little bit of a communication dysfunction there for a hot second.
Indeed. So yeah, I think I like the idea that, like, I don't know, Chewbacca from Star Wars, like the Millennium Falcon crash lands on Earth, and it's like they lock him up in a cage, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna make you a female Wookiee now. It's like just Han Solo rescuing him, and he's just there and like with lipstick and everything. It's like, Chewie, what have they done to you? It's like, what kind of fucking planet is this?
They cut my balls off, Han. They cut my balls.
They cut my balls off, Han. And he would have some hairy balls. Yes, I mean, this idea, but to be honest, even like not even going as far as actual aliens, but like just I was just thinking about, like, okay, let's say there has to be some handful of Trump supporters who believe this. I would love to ask them, just how do you think this policy goes from top down? So in other words, what I mean is, like, set the scene for me. It's like, Kamala's meeting with her advisors. It's like, guys, we need a surefire policy winner right here. It's like, Madam Vice President, I've got it. We go to the illegal immigrants who have illegally come into our country. It's like, yeah, I'm with you. And what we do is we go to them when they're in prison. It's like, yeah, I got you. We give them a sex change operation. Love it. We've just won Michigan.
Where do I sign up?
How can I make this policy happen quicker? And then it's just, can you imagine like an ICE agent going in, just following orders, going into a migrant prison? It's like, come with us. It's like, oh, am I getting deported? It's like, well, your balls are.
Yeah, because remember, Connor, some people out there don't have maps, like the Iraq and the Asian countries, as Miss Teen South Carolina in 2007 would have us believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, shout out to her. Was it? I feel like she's kind of gotten a raw deal through the years, but really has just been a font of humor for pretty much the entire planet. So thank you for your service. Yeah, thank you for your service, man.
Welcome on the podcast anytime.
Yeah, we would love to have you.
Love to interview you.
Anyways, so with that, Connor, what's your favorite tagline from the debate here?
I mean, I'm going to pick the obvious one. Just, I think it was the first clip I saw of this debate with Trump just going, "They're going to eat the dogs." It's the way he even pronounces dogs, like dogs. They're going to eat the dogs. It's like, what do you mean they're going to eat the dogs? Like, the thing is, even if one like illegal immigrant ate one dog, even if that actually fucking happened, it just still sounds so crazy coming from Trump.
Okay, so I've got a true fact for you here. I've got some friends who are from the Far East, and they eat some different stuff over there. Okay, cat and dog can be on the menu depending upon the circumstances. Now, I've heard with respect to dog. Okay, dog can actually taste quite good, like given the right sort of preparation. Cat though, cat apparently tastes like shit. So
Really?
that's just a little something right there. So fun fact for you. Yeah, so don't eat cat because it tastes like shit. So yeah, there you go.
But they're eating dogs.
They're eating dogs.
They're eating dogs.
They're eating dogs. They're eating cats. The people that live there, they go to rallies because they like what I say, and this country will end up being Venezuela on steroids. Sorry, somehow I kind of went into like a sort of a pseudo Bobby Kennedy voice there. That was not my intention.
What I find so funny about Trump trying to use the "they're eating dogs" attack line is that, he was touting RFK Jr.'s endorsement just the other week, and he said that, RFK is going to serve in his administration and all this. It's like RFK openly told a story about how he was going to eat a roadkill bear he found. And my favorite thing from that story is he put a video of himself on Twitter talking about it, like openly. And he put out the video and then just like tagged, I think like the New York Times, and said, "I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys spin this one." It's like, dude, they don't have to. What do you mean spin? That's already a super bad story that makes you look like a psycho.
Yeah. Like seriously, when your last name is fucking Kennedy and it's like that Kennedy, and your family in the fucking Democratic Party disowns you, like you gotta be seriously off your goddamn rocker, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, Kamala really should have just like retorted to Trump when he said that, she should have also screamed into the microphone. It's like, "They're eating roadkill bears." Because
you got it wrong. Okay, they are eating animals. Okay, but it's not cats and dogs. It's fucking roadkill bears.
Roadkill bears. Because you know what? You can almost. I mean, I personally wouldn't like eat a dog, but there are places in the world who America is allies with. South Korea, they do eat dog. Nobody fucking eats roadkill bear except RFK Jr. Like, that's so much weirder.
Here's a question: which candidate do you think would be more likely to eat man, bear, pig?
I think the only person who could have eaten man, bear, pig was David Muir. He was the only person on that stage.
Oh, okay, good. I think this is our segue. Our segue into the
EJ,
one.
I know you got mad love for David Muir.
The people's champion right here. Not only is he literally one of the most attractive men on the face of the earth.
Oh yeah,
like a sexier, less ridiculous version of David Schwimmer. I gotta say it's very strong masculine energy, great jawline.
Yeah.
He also had some of the best zingers of the friggin' night.
Do tell, EJ, do tell.
Oh God. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out with I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News, we did reach out to the city manager there. He told us that there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community. They're eating dogs, they're eating cats. Like, I'm not taking this from television. It's been discussed with the actual city manager. Again, there is no evidence of this consumption that you speak of here. So that was definitely like a good one right there. Also, we got to come back to, by the way, just as a bit of a side, we got to come back to our honorable mentions for best lines of the debate as well. Those that didn't kind of take down the title belts for the both of us here. Let's see. Oh yeah, the question was about U.S. president, not about former Speaker Pelosi. But I do want the Vice President Harris's response here. Like, that was a nice little takeaway. Your time is up. And just to clarify the question, do you believe it is in the U.S.'s best interest for Ukraine to win this war, yes or no? Trump just kind of went on to not answer yes or no.
I mean, all these right-wing commentators who are sour that, like, oh, the ABC moderators did a terrible job, which is just untrue. It's like, you couldn't have gotten an easier question.
We got I didn't watch all these pieces of video where you were claiming to speak sarcastically. I didn't detect any sarcasm or that you lost by a whisker that we didn't quite mitigate, and we should just point out as clarification, and this, you and your allies, that 60 cases are in front of you now from as many judges, so on and so forth. And I thought his best line of the entire debate was his very last line. And I'm David Muir. Thank you very much for watching here in the U.S. and all over the world. And from all of us here at ABC News, good night. And it's like,
yeah, I
holy
mean,
fucking shit. Here's what just happened. We're a laughing stock of the friggin' world. What the fuck?
I think David Muir did a really good job in the sense that it was so weird. It was like he handled them both like so professionally and as if they're both normal candidates, but also did a really good job with Trump of like being like, you're just full of shit and completely insane. But he did it in such a polite way.
Yeah,
it was masterful.
There was real professionalism there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I would say that ABC News is probably a little bit tilted a bit more to the left wing of things. So, if you're talking about tiebreaker stuff, yeah, it probably did tilt a little bit more on the left-hand side of things. So they didn't push Harris quite as much on some of this stuff. But when one side of the spectrum is like, oh, you didn't quite fully address the question explicitly versus they're eating cats and dogs, we're locking them up. Was it they're doing transgender surgery on aliens in prison? Like,
EJ, can you imagine being the city manager of fucking Springfield, Ohio, and you get a call from David Muir, which for you would be the happiest day of your life, I think.
It would be a fantastic
saying, hello, this is David Muir for ABC News. I just want to check, was there someone eating dogs in your city? It's like, what? No.
The fuck are you talking about, man?
What the fuck are you talking about, David Muir?
Yeah, by the way, was it, David Muir could moderate my debate any day of the week.
Yeah, David Muir and what's her name?
What's her name? No, what's her name? Strong second place as far as moderators are concerned. Like, of the two moderators, she was the second best. Like, so
yeah, I feel the executives at ABC went to Kathleen Kennedy and said, "Yeah, we're gonna get David Muir to run this debate." And she's just like, "No, you need to put a chick in this moderation and make her gay."
All right. Now, we don't necessarily know if what's her name is gay or not. Okay, so I don't want to sort of cast aspersions there. Okay, we're not sort of flinging wild accusations.
Okay? Oh no, not at all.
That's Donald J. Trump's job. Okay, and or just the American kind of political system in general, just kind of lob accusations and just sort of see what the fuck happens. That's not the business that we're in, Connor. Okay, so. When it comes to what's her name, okay, we're going to be very fact-based, okay, we're going to be very practical and pragmatic, okay, because that's the sort of men that we are, okay, we're gentlemen, so, or at least we pretend to be. Indeed. So rest in peace, what's her name, and you'll be remembered forever in our hearts and minds.
Indeed. She's actually, I mean, I've seen her interview Trump in something else. She actually didn't do such a bad job, but I feel when you're next to David Muir, just forget it. That man is a fantastic debate moderator.
Do you want to go back to some honorable mentions for like best lines of the debate?
I mean, I think there were so many, it would be hard not to, EJ.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and just kind of quickly rip through some of these bits here. So Harris starting out with early on in the debate saying, here's the thing, very similar to here's the deal that Biden was always sort of going to as like a cliche line to start up his explanation.
Well, I always like how Biden added in is like he'd always say Jack. It's like, here's the deal, Jack. Do you think Kamala's slowly going to morph into it? It's like I don't know. Here's the thing, Jennifer.
Here's the thing, Jennifer.
Here's the thing.
Let me explain this to you, Sally.
Let me explain this to you, Sally.
Um,
I think a good one, actually, an honorable mention, but not quite from this debate. But I don't think it got nearly as much press coverage as it deserved. But from the last debate with Biden and Trump, when Biden said to Trump, it was one of his rare lucid moments in that debate where he just said, "You have the morals of an alley cat." I mean, that was pretty good, I thought.
yeah, if only you could have kind of kept it up for the other 95% of that thing, we would have been golden, baby.
Yeah, we'd have been watching a second Trump Biden debate probably.
Yep, cheddar cheese. All right. So next we got with respect to discussing Project 2025. I think it's probably better if you kind of speak to this this line here, Connor. I think you can do the impression a bit better than I can.
Well, I mean, Trump was asked about Project 2025, which he did his classic Trump thing of like, I've never heard of this. I have no idea what Project 2025 is. There's some good stuff in there, some bad stuff in there. It's like, well, which is it? Do you know what it is, or have you not read it?
No, he's intentionally not read it. It's intentional.
Yeah. Whereas I think, obviously, I think Trump would probably try and implement a lot of the stuff in Project 2025 because he would just staff it with the people that they've picked. But I think the one argument that they could make that he genuinely doesn't know anything about it is they could just say, look, it's not called Project Trump or Project Trump 25. If Trump wrote this, it would have the word Trump in there somewhere.
Yeah, I feel that. Was it Trump branded water? Was it Trump branded compressed air?
EJ, what's the one? Because Trump's obviously hawked a lot of stuff in his time. He always puts his name on things. What do you think's the one product we haven't seen that Trump has done?
Oh, geez. Okay. I mean, that's a tough one. So you gotta give me a second here to ruminate on this. You'll also have to fact check. We also got to go on Google and sort of figure out if what we guess here actually does or does not exist. I'm gonna go with Trump branded iodized salt. Let's go with that. Okay.
Interesting one. Okay.
Trump branded table salt. And what about you, Connor? What's one thing you don't think has been Trump branded?
The one thing that I don't think has been Trump branded. I can kind of see him selling something like just super bad, like I don't know, Trump doorknobs or something.
Doorknobs. Okay.
I can see him doing doorknobs.
Maybe the better question was like, what's one thing that probably isn't Trump branded but should be? And I think table salt is probably not a good response on that front right there. So maybe we switched up to
I think maybe some sort of brand of some kind of powder or cream that you would use for like jock itch or something like that, for that annoying itch that just won't go away.
That's good.
I can see him doing those like late night ads that they run for like really old people, like Trump branded catheters. It's like, okay. I can see him doing
something. Hurts. Don't blame me.
When you got to go, but the radical Democrats have taken away your ability to pee.
It's a communist pee stream. Like you can't pee. Like you're taking away your rights.
You need a Trump catheter. It's so comfy. It's like stuffing a pillow up your Johnson. Yeah, I feel I would actually, because Trump obviously said, he's so like full of bluster with everything he does. I would love to see him sell really, really unpopular things that everyone hates.
I got you. Like I don't know, Trump Brillo pads or something, or like Trump was it sandpaper underwear or something like that?
Trump sandpaper underwear. Trump, I don't know, like what's something you hate buying but you have to buy?
Hate buying but have to buy. Let's go with. I mean, I fucking hate spending money on electricity. That's a shitty fucking thing. So just spending money on energy, like you got to buy it. Like in today's day and age,
gotta buy it. That's true. Well, I don't know. I could I could see him selling like a privatized garbage service. It's like, we'll collect your trash. Okay, all the trash that the radical Democrats put in your garden. Okay, we're gonna collect it. It's gonna be great.
You got a real future as sort of a PR or spin man, Connor. I think.
I certainly think I could. I think another line, going back to our little lines here. There was one you liked about what was it? Trump saying something about waking Biden up.
Oh yeah, was it dope? Wake him up, get him out of bed. Okay, it's at 4 p.m. Okay, he's probably asleep, and it's like, I mean, look, most of the bullshit that comes out of Trump's mouth, I'm like, all right, my guy. But also, like, given how fucking bad Biden was, like, literally the only president in history who had to drop out of a presidential race because of how fucking bad and old and senile he appeared in a fucking debate. Like, literally, Richard Nixon with his fucking armpit and brow sweat, okay, couldn't hold a candle to that shit. So
And even Reagan. I mean, Reagan had Alzheimer's for like the last 2 years of his presidency.
Oh, he did. I don't remember that.
Apparently, yeah.
That was a joke right there.
Mostly his I see what you did there. You got me. Like, I think it was his chief of staff running things. So, you know, I do think that there's, like, I don't know, but Biden is he's essentially Mr. Magoo if Mr. Magoo was president. But yeah, I think there certainly is a grain of truth. It reminds me a bit of there was a joke in The Simpsons about when President Clinton gets like abducted by aliens, and they put this claw into the White House and like pick up his bed, and he's just in bed, and he wakes up and he goes, "What the hell? Is it noon already?"
Another one that I was a really big fan of was so Trump had trying to kind of tout the bona fides of his international geopolitical strategy and his sort of international relations bona fides, starts parroting the fact that Viktor Orban, the strongman president of Hungary, liked his policies. Yeah. And like, dude, you're like kind of reaching, like, I mean, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel there. Like, no offense to Hungary here, but Hungary, you don't think of Hungary when it comes to like the top of any sort of like good list when it comes to like most major geopolitical kind of considerations. You're like, maybe they have the best. Here's a question: does Hungary have the best Turkish food? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Was it?
They've got some good public baths. I went to Budapest once, and they have a lot of public baths, which are really cool.
All right, so cool baths. That's
other than that very obscure list, I wouldn't put them on the top of anything, to be honest.
So it's like, yes, you got endorsed by like the 38th ranked country by per capita or by GDP or something along those lines. There, it's like.
But I love this idea that most Americans probably don't even know who Viktor Orban is. You know, famously popular in America, Viktor. Like, I love the idea that there's some swing voter in like fucking Michigan who's like, "Fuck, I don't know who to vote for." Really on a knife edge with this one, and they're like, Trump has got the endorsement of Viktor Orban. It's like, Viktor Orban, you say? Ooh.
Is that Taylor Swift's new boyfriend?
Could you imagine Taylor Swift dating Viktor Orban? I mean, it's not the craziest thing, and my God. The album she would release after that breakup would be biblical.
Oh, yes. That's all I can say. Yes.
Yeah. I think Taylor Swift needs to date Viktor Orban.
Yeah, get on that, Taylor. I got one more honorable mention line. I just want to sort of bring up. Trump kind of had this throwaway line of they left $85 million of military equipment behind in Afghanistan, and it just got me to fucking think like $85 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money to you and me, but. Like when I think about the cost of like an Apache attack helicopter or an M1 Abrams tank, I'm like, that doesn't sound like a whole hell of a lot of military equipment. So I'm just in the process of looking up how much is an Apache attack helicopter. How much is an Apache attack?
Oh, I got it right here. EJ, it's about $50 million. So they left behind 1.5 Apache attack helicopter. I don't even think it was that, because I mean, I think I said to you once that it's it probably costs more to actually move it, so they'd leave it.
For sure.
I actually have a much better theory about what equipment they left behind, because I'm sure as a proud American you are well aware of this. and I only found this out quite recently.
Hmm.
But in American military bases, they, because the soldiers are like abroad, so they try and get them the home comforts.
Hmm.
So the U.S. military, I don't know, they have like deals with like Burger King, for example, to get Burger King served on site on foreign military bases. So the U.S. military can move an entire Burger King into a war zone. I love the idea they just left behind all the Burger Kings, and that's the $85 million.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's a great pitch right there.
These radical Democrats under Joe Biden left behind $85 million worth of Whoppers. Okay.
Now, in fairness, Donald Trump, famous advocate of Mickey D's, okay, big McDonald's guy, not a Burger King guy. So I can see why he would take umbrage to that. Okay, so you're leaving Whoppers behind. I don't know, like the Mickey D's though, that's got to come back home.
I'm sure Trump removed them while he was president and put them probably all in Mar-a-Lago. But yeah, I think they left behind $85 million worth of chicken royales.
Okay, on to a couple of other topic spaces here. Let's see. So Donald Trump, during the course of his debate responses, brought up this notion, or rather discussed this notion of chips, or microchips, we think, but we weren't really quite sure, like, what chips Donald Trump was talking about. So you actually had posed this question here, which was basically,
well, I mean,
go ahead.
Oh no, what I was going to say is apparently Trump doesn't even use email. So the idea that he actually knew what a microchip was is questionable. So I like the idea that whenever they're talking about chips and we get all our chips from Taiwan, it's like he's thinking about potato chips or something.
Yeah, that's a good, it's just a good, nice kind of thought right there. And it just kind of makes you wonder, like, all right, where do the other types of chips that exist out there, just from a phonetic standpoint, sit? So like,
you got a poker chips?
Poker chips. Where do poker chips sit? So we got poker chips, we got fish and chips, we've got Chips Ahoy, we've got I don't know. I feel like I kind of feel like Bubba from Forrest Gump here. Like that's about it.
Well, I like the idea. I don't know. Trump would just be thinking about chips, like potato chips, and I don't mean to insult you, EJ, but I do think I think in terms of chips or crisps, as we call them back home, I think the UK has got a much stronger crisp game than the US for the chip game.
Yeah,
I will say I think America does barbecue flavor very well, but other than that, UK's got it.
they've got some fucked up flavors over here, man. Don't bring that weak ass shit into this house, man.
No, I will.
Don't bring that weak ass shit into this house. They got like fucking onion and pickled anus or something along those lines. Like, they're like, oh yeah,
you've got wet grandma.
wet grandma. What was it? They put like little fucking corn bits and everything. It's fucking disgusting, dude.
There was actually, I'm pretty sure there was once. It was so weird. They
corn and mango chutney.
Yeah, I mean, the Brits' obsession with mango chutney is very strange. But there was once a competition for the UK's biggest crisp company. They invited the public to come up with flavors, and they chose 6 of them, and they made them a reality. And then whichever one sold the best, they decided to keep. They were the weirdest flavors. I remember they had like a rabbit flavored crisp.
I mean, in fairness, like I'd be intrigued. I'd be like, rabbit, that's kind of cool.
Rabbit, yeah.
So back home in like kind of the DC sort of Baltimore area, there's type of chips that we call crab chips. All right, and it's got a little bit of this Old Bay seasoning that's like really. Go ahead.
I've seen Old Bay a lot. What does Old Bay taste like?
Basically, it's just got a bunch of paprika, garlic, bit of onion in it. I mean, I would say that the actual kind of like idealized ratios, that's probably more of a state secret or factory secret or what have you. But I think those are kind of like the main sort of like pieces of the puzzle right there. Obviously a bit of salt, and yeah, that's, combine those things together. You got yourself a great rub for seafood, first and foremost. Also tastes great on chicken and pork. The only thing you don't want to put it on is your dark meats. So anything that's either fish or white meat, Old Bay tastes fantastic, but leave the leave it out of any sort of like dark meat sort of barbecuing situation. Okay, so that's where you get your sauces, your dry rubs, things of that sort. So don't mess around on that front.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yep. All right. Moving on here. You want to pick the next topic for us?
So there was a bit of the a bit of the debate where, and this has been going on a few days in advance, where Kamala has been touting the endorsement of 200 Republicans, and obviously, I mean, everyone knows why. It's like because Trump, even though Trump's running as a Republican, he's obviously like so crazy and so terrible that it would make sense that like some classical Republicans from his party would go for Kamala Harris, and they've all kind of said the same thing of like, oh, we don't agree with her on policy, but let's let's give her a, she's not going to destroy democracy at least. So I like the idea that Kamala will see this as like her superhero team of like Avengers who are going to swoop in and save the day. And I like the idea of thinking of these like, really lame Republicans as like superheroes. So like, if Marvel was doing like a new Avengers movie and they need some new creative juices, I think this is a very creative direction to go. It's like, okay, EJ, let's talk about the Avengers as a movie who are going to come in and save American democracy. If they were Dick Cheney, Meghan McCain, Anthony Scaramucci, Chris Christie, and let's say Mitt Romney, what kind of superheroes would they be?
Okay, so I would say that Scaramucci, I mean, I think his superpower is he licks boots, like he's a bootlicker. And that's it. His tongue is just custom made to lick boots. He can make them so shiny. Okay, he can lick boots. So that's his superpower.
His superpower would be like some sort of acid tongue.
No. He licks boots very well. That's his superpower. Okay, it
doesn't actually like it can't impale his enemies. He just licks their boots.
He just licks their boots, man.
So if he gets an enemy that's like it's like my one weakness is my boots must remain dry at all times. It's like booch, get him.
It's like Captain Hindsight from South Park or something like that.
I like the idea. I mean, Dick Cheney could be. I mean, I think the superhero power is like obvious for Dick Cheney. It's just like he'd be called the waterboarder. The waterboarder. And imagine Dick Cheney with his big fucking dad belly coming in on like a surfboard all the time with that constant glare he has of like, kind of like an Aquaman surfer type, but just crashing into countries in the Middle East he doesn't like.
Yeah, it's like you got Poseidon, king of the ocean, and you got the waterboarder.
You got the waterboarder. It's like he can cause a massive tsunami, but only if your country's got oil.
Mitt Romney, I think he would be Captain Underpants, just because Mormon people, they wear the special underpants. So he like his magic underpants, they give him like special powers. Maybe he's kind and decent. Like that's kind of like his thing right there. It's like when he wears his magic underpants, he's like really kind and really decent.
No, I think I could see him as like a tithe man, and his power is he takes 10% of your salary.
All the time. But remember, these are Republicans, though. Okay, so no new taxes with them.
No, but it's okay if it's a church, EJ.
Oh, fair enough. What was it? Yeah. Gotta give your props to Jesus. You pay enough money, and he forgives all your sins.
Completely different thing. So, what do you think Chris Christie's superhero name and power would be?
I mean, this one's very kind of straightforward. The Blob.
I thought that too, but I didn't want to go too obvious. But yeah, the Blob, and he crushes people.
Actually, in the first X-Men movie, there was actually a dude who got like zapped by Magneto's radiation, and he was like a U.S. senator, and he like kind of turned into like a gelatinous blob person. So maybe that's like Chris Christie's like grandfather or something like that.
Yeah, but even as a blob, I don't think he could get through the prison thing like the guy in the movie.
Oh yeah, no, he would. He'd get hungry. He'd want a snack.
Imagine Chris Christie working for Magneto.
Let's see. Meghan McCain. I think her superpower would be that she could turn into Oprah Winfrey whenever she wanted to.
I could see that.
Like talking head, but like let's be a really like pronounced talking head, like the talking head. the voice of a generation of talking heads.
I think that's solid. Yeah, so I think this would be Kamala's superhero team. You got the waterboarder who can who can tsunami Middle Eastern countries. You got Meghan McCain who can turn into Oprah. You got Anthony Scaramucci, who there won't be a dry boot left in the audience after this guy comes along. You got Chris Christie, who's just turned into a gelatinous blob. It's like you'd see all these Trump Republicans like going up to vote, and he would just use his blob powers to block the way.
Yeah. Mitt Romney takes 10% of your money.
Takes 10% of your money. This is a solid superhero team right here.
So here's the question: like, Connor, what would you call this movie here? Like, what would you call this superhero ensemble right here?
I think I'd call it like Avengers Shitty War or something like that.
Avengers Shitty War.
Or no, actually, no, EJ, I got a better name. I wouldn't call it the Avengers. I would call it the B-Vengers.
Avengers.
This is the B team right here.
The B team.
These are the guys who cover the Avengers on their day off and on public holidays.
Yeah, the fucking B squads.
The fucking B squad.
B squad powers activate.
What would their origin story be? It's like one day they were all going to like a weapons expo, and then some nuclear waste spilled on all of them.
Yeah, like a fucking oil and fracking convention or something like that, or gosh, no, I like that, like a weapons convention or something like that, or a prayer lunch for the NRA. There we go.
A prayer lunch for the NRA.
Yeah,
I like that. I like prayer lunch for the NRA.
So at this prayer lunch, they're presented with an opportunity to taste the newest cure for COVID. Okay, bleach combat up with ivermectin. All right, and
oh yeah, mixed by Joe Rogan.
Mixed by Joe Rogan. Compliments of InfoWars guy Alex Jones was it? So just a little bit of frog water from Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden was it? Yeah, shake it up and bada bing, bada boom. They got their superpowers.
Mm-hmm. And it turns them all gay, of course.
Oh yeah,
this is water they're putting in to make the frogs gay.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think there's one last little thing that I would like to, or one and a half more things I'd like to unpack here. The first is So Trump talked, or rather, there was a bit of discussion in the debate about these love letters that either Trump wrote or received from Kim Jong-un, and it just got me to thinking, like, if you were to write a letter to Kim Jong-un, what would you say in your letter? Or rather, if Kim Jong-un wrote a letter to you, what do you think it would say to you?
That's a good question, EJ. I mean, I got to get myself into the mindset of why I would be writing a love letter to Kim Jong-un. Let's say I don't know, let's say I needed a reference for a job or something and he just like helped me out for some reason. It's like, hey Kim, I really appreciate you doing me a solid and by making that call to help me get that job. Everyone talks about how you don't feed your people, but in the West, I think we eat too much, so maybe that's not a bad thing. You're just killing it. I like how you're trying to be a one man reinventing the fashion industry with the kind of suits you wear. I respect that, and just keep on killing it. The fake news are saying you're going to lose your next election. I think you got it in the bag. It's really hard to imagine writing a love letter to Kim Jong-un.
I got one for you. So this is insulting on a number of levels. Dear Kimmy J, I loved you in that fucking new Winnie the Pooh movie. Okay, I thought you were fucking hysterical. Okay, the way you interacted with Tigger and Eeyore was fantastic. I know that they say that President Xi is the better Winnie the Pooh, but no, I think you are too. See, it rhymes. Now, could you please send me all of the passwords, social security numbers, and email addresses of all of the people that you have hacked over the last 5 years? I could really do with some of that crypto money that I would steal from them. Love, yours truly, an everlasting fan, John.
I like that little way you said John. It was very, very sensual, EJ.
Oh yeah, was it? It's kind of like a Dear John letter, but like a Dear Kimmy G letter.
Kimmy G.
Okay. Final thing I want to kind of hit on, unless there's other topics you want to sort of speak to, Connor. But
I think I'd probably put in something as well about like, hey, dear Kimmy J, sorry to hear about your dad, but nice to hear you inherited the family business.
Yeah. Hopefully you can keep those fucking murders to less than 10,000 next year. You got to kill someone. Don't kill me.
Yeah. I think that'll do it.
Hey, little Rocket Man, how you doing? Last thing I really wanted to highlight, which was just kind of a fun little exercise, was there's a lot of real U.S. presidents that have existed through the years. There's also a lot of fictional presidents that have not existed at all, save for the silver and big screen. And I wanted to just take a moment to see if we could maybe try and analogize our current smattering or offering of presidential candidates with some past presidents that have shown up in TV and film. So we got a few options that we've kind of like perused over. But Connor, I wanted to give you kind of first whack at this. So let's do, if you want, we can do just Trump and Harris, or we can do Trump, Harris, Vance, and Walz. And I think it'd be fun to do all four. I think that makes it a little bit more fun and entertaining there.
Well, I think for Harris, it's kind of obvious. I mean, maybe not a movie I can think of off the top of my head, but I think just if Lucasfilm decided to make a movie about like, I don't know, Barack Obama, you know, Kathleen Kennedy would obviously just get like, it's like, put a chick in it and make her fucking gay. And whoever that would be, I think that's as close to Kamala as you'd get.
I dig that. I dig where you're going there. Yeah. So Kamala's side for me, I mean, I'm going, I'll go Jed Bartlett. No. I'll go Thomas Whitmore. Okay, it's from Independence Day, the president from Independence Day. Here's why. President Whitmore was kind of dragged through the muck a little bit from a media perspective. Like, he was sort of like a lukewarm president. You know, they didn't really think too highly of him, but they didn't like hate him either. Before the aliens came down and had their transgender surgeries in prison. But when the time came to rise to the occasion, all right, Thomas Whitmore stood up and gave one of the greatest speeches, both fact or fictional, that's ever been uttered by an American president. And I think that's Kamala, given her kind of VP track record of sort of milquetoast, lukewarm opinions, or presence at the very least. I feel like she's got one of those in her. Okay, was it given the opportunity, she will rise to the occasion, and I think she sort of demonstrated some meat and potatoes to that end during the course of the debate and during the course of her recent weeks of campaigning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she's the most impressive public speaker, but I do agree with you. I think that I think she's one crisis away from giving the great American speech, but like it has to be a big crisis.
What do you think would institute a big crisis, Connor? Make something up here for the people. Do it for the culture.
A massive penguin invasion coming across the northern border.
The northern border. Those goddamn syrup suckers from Canada, man. Fuck.
Those goddamn ice divers. Ice divers. I can see Kamala rallying the American people against the penguins.
Yes. Was it? I'm with you. I'm with you, baby. All right. For Trumpy Trump, which fake American president do you think most embodies Donald Trump, or which fictional or movie individual most embodies Donald Trump?
I actually think probably the best option is what's it called? The President Schwarzenegger from the Simpsons movie. Like, you could see one of Trump's advisors, like John Bolton, coming into him. It's like, you're like, you know, Mr. President, we've got 5 unthinkable options for dealing with Iran. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna pick number 3. I don't read. Reading is for dorks. So I think the Simpsons once again predicted the future with that one. They were just one celebrity slightly to the left.
I dig it. I dig it. So for me on that front, I've got kind of a sort of a cheating option, and then I've got my real answer. So the cheating option is I would actually pick Donald Trump, okay, as my movie president, because Donald Trump actually shows up in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York for a couple of scenes. So I don't know if that counts or not, but if it does, who better to play the man himself than the man himself? And if I can't do that, I'll go with Selena Meyer from the TV show Veep. I think that's a real kind of highlighting, it really highlights sort of the trials and tribulations of a rampant narcissist, which I think we've got in our hands with El Trumpo. So that's that's kind of my answer to that question right there.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right. Any other flaming hot takes from you, Connor?
I think JD Vance, I'm not sure I could think of a president from a movie who would be like him, but I think he's just like every serial killer ever.
Yeah.
Like, you could see him in like fucking, I don't know, the Red Dragon or one of these movies.
Yeah, the Silence of the Lambs guy. Like, oh, is she that great big fat person?
Yeah.
It puts the lotion on its skin. Or else
yeah, I could see him as one of those dudes. Super weird.
It puts the tax break on its skin, or else it gets immigrants again.
Tim Waltz. Do you know who Tim Waltz would be? I can't think of a specific actor. Maybe you can, but I think Tim Waltz would be, in one of those comedy movies where there's like a goofy male lead who's trying to like woo the female lead. And Tim Waltz is like the really lovable but protective father of the female lead.
Oh, so like Steve Martin in like something Father of the Bride or something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that.
I for Waltz, I see whenever Tom Hanks gets around to playing an American president, that's Tim Waltz right there. It's like kind of America's uncle, like just sort of friendly, non-threatening, but like, he gets you. He sees you as a person.
He's a sweet guy.
Maybe he's got kind of like a foot fetish that he's sort of into that he doesn't tell the rest of the world about. But on the outside, externally,
I could definitely see him having some sort of weird sex thing. Like nothing like evil or anything like that, but just something that's a little bit like, okay, Tim, okay.
Yeah, going for a ride on the wild side there today.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I mean, like something like I don't know, his wife pretends to be a cowboy and he pretends to be like a horse or something. Something like that.
Let's go, Thunder! Oh my God! Go, Silver!
Away! Something that's like weird but harmless.
Yeah, whereas I feel like JD Vance is the kind of guy who like sits in the corner naked while some other dude's plowing his wife and like kind of rubs himself with like kind of the bladed edge of a knife and just kind of rubs himself up and down. It's like, no, that's okay. You keep going. I'm just watching.
Yeah, like I feel there'd be some other guy fucking his wife and the guy would just be looking at him and just would have no respect for him. It's like, yo, JD, I'm getting kind of hungry. Go get me some corn on the cob. Yeah. Sure.
Yo, I'm gonna stick my hillbilly in your elegy.
Yeah, he's what kind of. Yeah, I feel like JD Vance would be into something like some weird sex thing, but that's like weird, but also harmful in some sort of way.
Yeah, probably child rape. I could see that.
Child rape, maybe. I could see him going up and jerking off at random girls in the street.
All right, that's a hobby,
I could see him doing that.
Let's see. Do we have anything else kind of content-wise for our listening audience out there? Or are we going to end on street jerk-off child rape?
I would be disappointed if we didn't end on street jerk-off child rape.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's go ahead and put a pin in there, fellas. So, the second presidential debate, we've anti-reviewed it for you. Once again, I am John EJ McCarthy, and I'm joined by my host.
I'm Conor Heffernan.
And we are the Overcrank Podcast, the Anti-Review Rendezvous. Please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, people.
All right. See y'all later.